Mario Andretti, Racing Legend, Daredevils, Lesson 10. What makes someone climb into a car and race around a track at speeds of up to 200 miles per hour? What makes drivers risk death in an effort to edge out other racers? If anyone could answer that question, it would be Mario Andretti. For over 30 years, Mario was the biggest name in auto racing. Not only did Mario Andretti drive fast, but he drove fast in all kinds of cars, in all kinds of races. Most race car drivers specialize. They drive either stock cars or Indy cars or Formula One cars. Mario raced them all and won with them all. He is the only race car driver ever to win top races in the three main classes. He drove a stock car to win the Daytona 500 in 1967. He drove an Indy car to take the Indianapolis 500 race in 1969. And he won the World Championship in Formula One Grand Prix racing in 1978. Mario fell in love with auto racing as a child growing up in Italy. An uncle once took him and his twin brother Aldo to see a 1,000-mile cross-country car race. It just caught my fancy. Mario recalled, I just became totally fascinated. Something I wanted to pursue in my life. At the age of 13, Mario and Aldo joined a driving program. Its purpose was to train young race car drivers. The two boys won a few races, but the program was soon canceled. Lots of kids got hurt and some got killed, said Mario, and that ended it. Feeling the sport was too dangerous, Mario's father opposed any more racing by his sons. But secretly, both boys continued to race anyway. In 1955, the Andretti family moved to the United States. Mario took a job as a welder in a garage. He and Aldo saved their money. Before long, they had enough cash to buy an old Hudson Hornet car. Still keeping the secret from their father, they rebuilt the car and took turns racing it. Mario alone won more than 20 stock car races. They got away with their clandestine racing for 3 years. But then, in 1959, Aldo was badly injured in a race accident. Mario's father was not happy when he found out about the deception. Once again, he demanded that his boys give up racing. Mario's love of racing was too great. Rather than give up the sport he loved, he ran away from home. Realizing that nothing could stop Mario from racing, Mr. Andretti soon gave up and began to support his son's endeavors. In 1961, Mario quit his job at the garage and took up racing full-time. At first, he raced small cars on a minor league circuit. He won many races, but needed a sponsor to join the big leagues of auto racing. Sponsors pay for the car, the pit crew, and the equipment. Most sponsors were not interested in Mario. They thought he was too reckless. They feared he would ruin too many cars. Clint Browner, however, liked what he saw in this young man. Browner talked Evan Lyons into sponsoring Mario. It wasn't a mistake. In 1965, Mario won the National Driving Championship. He bested such famous drivers as A.J. Fort and Parnelli Jones. The title was based on a point system. Although Mario won only one race, he had enough second and third place finishes to win. Still, he didn't impress some of the old pros. Foyt would have won the championship had he not run out of gas on the last lap of the Indianapolis 500. We'll have to wait and see how good he really is, said Foyt at the time. The racing world didn't have to wait long. Mario Andretti won the championship again in 1966. This time there were no doubts, no second-guessers. Mario entered 15 major races, winning 8 of them. In 3 straight races he led from start to finish. No one had ever done that before. Now even Foyt had to admit that Mario was the one to beat. The situation remained unchanged for the next 30 years. Mario was the dominant driver on any kind of track, in any kind of car. He was the superstar of auto racing. Even people with no interest in racing could name one driver, Mario Andretti. Mario raced in his final Indy 500 in 1994. By then, he'd had a share of accidents. He'd smacked into more walls than he could remember. Once, in 1966, he was in a tragic crash that killed 4 spectators. Luckily for Andretti, his own injuries were mostly minor, cracked ribs and bruises. Mario never liked to think about the risks he took in all those races. When you start thinking you may get hurt, said Mario, it's time to get out of racing. Mario was fortunate to have survived so long in such a dangerous sport. It wasn't all luck. Skill played a large part as well. Take the Indy 1985 500, for example. On lap 120, Danny Sullivan's car spun out of control. Sullivan did a 360-degree turn but didn't hit anything. Still, he ended up right in Mario's path. Mario's car was bearing down on him. At the last instant, Mario swerved down onto the infield grass to avoid Sullivan. It was one of the greatest moves ever seen at Indy. Quite possibly, Mario saved Sullivan's life. The move also allowed Sullivan to recover and win the race. It was his day, said Mario. I can't explain these things. Given all the things that could and did go wrong from time to time, why did Mario choose to make a career out of auto racing? In 1997, a reporter asked him that very question. What makes you do it? Asked the newsman. Is it a controlled terror? Is there a fear there that you just have to take control of? Or is it an adrenaline rush and it's just fun? Mario Andretti answered the question with a laugh. Well, he said, all of the above. But although Mario spent a good part of his life driving cars 150 to 200 miles per hour, he said he never went over the speed limit when driving the family car around town. When I'm not on the track, he said, I'm driving like a grandmother. After a short pause, he added, Grandmother, I think she drives faster than I do.